So what would you advise a company or corporation that's looking to get some gamification solutions into their organization?
Well, it's an interesting space we're in. We're having a lot of fun with it. Everyone's interested in it. Everyone wants to learn.
I'm interested in it.
Yeah. See?
Yes.
And everyone really wants to figure out how they can leverage this new way of delivering training. And the biggest thing for them to figure out is, where do I start? And so, a lot of folks that we've met this year through our webinars and conferences and presentations and such that we've done, they say, well, no worries. We've got a lot of really talented instructional designers. We'll just go get a tool, we'll grab it. We'll go.
We can do it.
And I've seen some really good stuff that they've produced. But the challenge that most organizations have is that, I think most organizations appreciate a little bit of guidance about where is the best place to start. Given the needs that we have and our priorities, where's the low-hanging fruit? And, we've got a practice where we really meet with organizations and kind of lay out all that stuff and identify where those areas are. Another challenge is that a lot of organizations don't have a lot of people that know how to design games. And really, developing game-based learning is sort of a fusion of instructional design, where there are a lot of people that do that at a really high level, and game design, where not so many people in corporate L&D have that experience. So we all, one of the things we try and share with people is, well, first of all, why don't we just spend some time to determine where the low-hanging fruit is? And then secondly,
what are your priorities, right?
It really has to do with what your priorities. If you're gonna try and do something different and creative, make it in an area that matters to the business. And then the next thing we try and focus on with organizations is, rather than going and getting your gamification authoring tool and going through a several-month process of developing your first one and then rolling it out to see how well you did, and oftentimes the answer comes back, well, maybe not so well, that burns up a lot of time. And businesses these days, they don't really want to take the time for a 6 or 8 month experiment. So what we typically do is we try and connect organizations once we understand the priorities, where the low-hanging fruit is. We provide solutions that really allow organizations to, number one, take those first few steps in a direction that's going to have a much higher probability of success. In the knowledge-based domain, for training that falls into that category, we actually provide platforms that, we license to organizations that, with about a day of training, allow them to create very compelling game-based learning solutions that can be deployed at a very high level in usually just a few days, rather than 3, 4, 5, 6 months.
But it's because you know what you're doing.
We can connect people to, the right strategies. We really have tried to establish ourselves as a thought leader in this new space, and we think about it all the time. It's our full-time job to help organizations successfully implement this. So if it's skills-based, most organizations just aren't going to be able to afford to develop much of that training on their own, designed from the ground up as a game. So we provide off-the-shelf solutions in that space and work with clients on how to implement those, perhaps as the core of a blended learning program that they could literally make a decision on and start rolling out, next week. Knowledge-based side, it's less about authoring tools for us than it is providing much more leverage solutions, because knowledge-based training, typically there's a ton of it, and oftentimes the lead time from when the requirement surfaces to when it has to be out, either for the workforce or the client base, is remarkably short. So we have some cool things that allow
Update
people to do.
needs to be updated.
It's very
by the time
volatile.
Right.
Skill-based training, over time, those skills don't necessarily change all that much. They're more evergreen.
Right.
Knowledge-based training, not so much. It's a lot more volatile.
Right.
And so if you're going to be able to manage the tidal wave, you better have some terrific tools and technology to allow you to get control of it. And that's a great part of what we provide.